Okay, today I'm going to be reacting to This Is Happening by LCD Soundsystem. I reacted to Sound of Silver in the summer of last year. Enjoyed that one quite a bit, so I'm excited to get into this one. I don't think there's much to say about it. Just go join the Patreon if you want. This was a Patreon request. It's $4 a month for uncut reactions and $8 a month for priority album requests. And we're going to get into it. It's an hour and 5 minutes, 9 songs, so we're going to have a lot of longer tracks here, which is fine. But yeah, let's get into it. First track is Dance Yourself Clean. It's easily the most streamed on the album at 100 million streams. So let's see if I recognize it. Maybe tribal drum vibes. I forgot how much I like this guy's voice. I don't know what it is about it, but I like it. Love this hook right here. Like the harmonies there. I forgot how humorous their music is too. Okay, here we go. I was wondering when it was gonna take it up a notch. Here we go. Love that synth sound. I love the swing on those hats too. Just a great groove. Cool rhythm here with this synth lead. Oh, love the groove of that whole entire section. The synth lead, it felt, I don't know what the time signature was to that, but it felt really weird. Oh, it's just 4/4, but it's just kind of like a cool syncopated rhythm with the synth lead. Yeah, it's just 4 on the floor. Love this line here. The social commentary with that line. Love that groove, man. Okay. Yeah, that was great. That was fantastic. I remember with the Sound of Silver, one of my main complaints was how repetitive it was. And I get that's just kind of part of the genre. That's kind of the appeal as well. Maybe I'll get used to that with this album, because I didn't find that one repetitive at all. I found it actually really engaging for the entire way through. Lyrically, some standout lines that were pretty funny, but also provided some social commentary. But the social commentary didn't feel forced or cringy or corny in any way. Like this right here. Dance yourself clean, you're blowing Marxism to pieces. So these young people thinking that they're going out and partying, they're anti-Marxism obviously, but then they're spending money and kind of feeding into that without maybe even knowing it or realizing it at the time. So it's kind of just cool commentary on that. Yeah, I remember I did like the lyrics a lot on the last album, so that's probably gonna continue with this. Just some witty lines here and there, and overall it just feels kind of self-deprecating, which, yeah, I like it a lot. Let's keep it going. Drunk Girls is next. Drunk Girls. I feel like LCD Soundsystem is the one band where you can implement claps and it doesn't feel corny or cringe. The driving nature of this part. great. Love it. Oh my gosh. Okay. That was fantastic. Again, loved it. Very driving, short and sweet. And this is like the perfect example of having a song concept and just committing to it super hard. And that's what makes it super likable, is how hard he commits to it. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, I feel like, but yeah, there's some funny lines in here. And overall, I feel like, I don't know if I pointed this out in my last LCD Soundsystem reaction, but I feel like Car Seat Headrest takes a lot of influence from these lyrics, especially on when did Twin Fantasy come out? Twin Fantasy, I know the 2018 version is a different version. When did the original come out? Because I feel like the self-deprecating kind of partying, why can't I speak? Partying your pain away almost. Kind of same themes almost being brought up, and it's very similar lyrically. I feel like Twin Fantasy originally 2011, this is 2010, right? So I don't know which way the influence goes. It might go both ways, but I feel like I definitely see some similarities there. Yeah, that was great. That's the shortest track we're getting. The rest are pretty long, so we'll see. But for a short track, that was great. Okay, let's get a good rating. We're gonna move on to One Touch. It's kind of unsettling. I love how delayed that note is. Oh, it's still going. It's like so behind the beat that it's kind of comical. I love it. It's stuff like that just adds character, though. Like, even if it's not necessarily right, who cares, you know? Sounds different vocally here. Kind of sounds like that Kraftwerk album I did. Oh, that's synth, man. Ooh. It was like 80s toms. Look how scratchy that little whatever that is. Maybe it's just this idea of just wanting to be alive, wanting to be around people, needing that interaction, feeling deprived of it, maybe. This track is very Gorillaz reminiscent, I feel like. Especially with those chorus group vocals. Love the cool down moments too. We had a nice cool down at the end of the last track. Kind of works as like nice transitional moments, I feel like. That's probably going to transition into the next one. I loved that. I think that's my favorite. I'm going to give that the 10. That was... There it is. Okay. That was fantastic. I wasn't loving the vocals at first. I thought the vocal thing he was going for was a little bit gimmicky, but grew on me quite a bit. Felt like just like a dirty, sweaty nightclub. Lyrically, it's really intriguing too. One touch is never enough. It feels like just wanting to be around people. I guess just because of COVID, it makes me think of that, but obviously this came out way before COVID. I was thinking like being deprived of that and then finally being able to do that. And then he says, I don't think that we'll be pleased with this. I thought that was maybe him finally getting out into the world. And then maybe it's not as good as he thought it would be, you know? But Genius is saying something about it being about a relationship, which could also be true, also would make sense. But I like my meaning better, so we're just going to go with mine. Yeah, that was great, though. That's my favorite track so far. I feel like I'm getting the appeal. I got the appeal on the first one, too. It just took me a little bit to get into it. And the repetition isn't bothering me at all. That sounds like a hold on. Hold on, y'all. That sounds like the drum beat to this. Same exact thing. I mean, it's a pretty basic, pretty standard, like, indie rock drum beat, so makes sense that I would hear that in other songs. Oh. I love how huge that guitar lead feels. I love the kind of melancholy feel of this. What am I trying to say? Chord structure. Chord progression. That's what I'm looking for. Cacophonous. That's how you end the track. An absolute perfect track like that, and you're just like, okay, that's cool, I guess. I guess we just made a masterpiece. No big deal. That was so good. I loved the mix of that. I loved how reverby and just swirling and cacophonous. I don't know if I use that in the right way. That's fantastic. I think that's my favorite now. Like I said, the nostalgic, kind of melancholic, almost chord progression was really emotive. Very emotive vocal performance as well, which I loved. All I want is your pity. So it feels like if the last track was a breakup or the start of a breakup, this feels like kind of continuing that. Because if it is a breakup, he wants her pity. He wants your bitter tears. He wants to feel like he's been wronged in some way, so he can kind of deflect the blame, I guess, put the blame off of himself. Lyrically, I love how he's not afraid to show his true self, even if his true self is kind of a dick, you know? Like, similar with Kendrick's album last year, the flaws were on full display, and that's what made it an intriguing piece of art, and that's what made it so deeply, like, personal and likable at the same time. Because if someone can be that honest with themselves and also put it out there, that's all you can really do. That's the best that you can do as an artist, I feel like. Okay, straight 80s. I hate to do it. What's that? What is that song called? The Psychedelic Furs? Is that what it is? That's the band, right? I know this is like for 80s people that grew up in the 80s. This is gonna be like a slap in the face, but okay, maybe it's that like kind of like spooky synth sound that just reminded me of that. So I love how watery the textures on this are. It just feels like there's like little drip drops going on in the background. It's cool. Oh, listen to that shimmering synth strings. Oh, and little twinkly things. It's a great line. Okay, I just want to point this out. This genius annotation right here, it says, for something to be an open book is for it to be easily understood. James Murphy is thus saying that love is clearly shitty, like his lover's rhymes, which is the obvious meaning of that off of a first glance, which is why it's a great line and why it's hilarious. However, the second line also pokes fun at James Murphy's unfortunate reputation as a terrible lyricist, perhaps a nod to critics. I had no idea that this dude was regarded as a bad lyricist. For me, I feel like he's really good. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's the way in which you look at it. Like, some of the lines could be taken as like kind of corny, but I feel like that's kind of the point. They're almost like purposefully corny, you know, to the point where it's really likable, and it almost feels like he's maybe like playing a character in some way. Yeah, I feel like the lyrics keep me really engaged, which means they can't really be bad, at least for me. Obviously, it's all just subjective, but I don't really see that. I think the lyrics are pretty great, honestly. This song is like really hitting home for me. It feels really nostalgic. Ow. Ow. Love it. Okay, it reminds me, is it this song? Hold on. I don't know, vocally and just the overall vibe of it, it kind of reminds me of that U2 song. And that is why it's nostalgic for me, is because my dad would listen to a lot of that stuff when I was growing up, so I heard like that type of music a lot. So it kind of just took me back, you know? So yeah, I loved that. That was fantastic again. Hey, guess what? It's another 10. It's another 10, baby. There's not much to say about it other than I don't get how people think this dude's a bad lyricist. I think he understands exactly what he wants to go for. He understands what fits the vibe of the music perfectly. I think he has a really clear vision. I think he is really self-aware, and yeah, I think it's great. I think it's freaking fantastic, so I'm loving this. So far, this is like almost perfection for an album for me. Hopefully it continues this quality. That bass line fade again. Oh, I want to see this live, man. I feel like live this would be so good. See? Claps, but they aren't cringe. Is that a reference to the band too? They don't make hits. I was thinking like you wanted a hit of like a blunt maybe, but this is a cool way to spin that, I guess. No, honestly, you know too much. So leave us on our own. Oh, yes. Love that synth sound. This is Gorillaz again. Love that. Emphasis on the truth. Oh. Love this chorus. Something about this groove just gives me the stank face, you know? Favorite chorus on the album, probably. Till you take us home. I mean, the track started with some great synth work, and now it's ending with that too. Oh, I feel like that's a very commonly used synth sound. Those chords. Bro, I loved that. It's not my favorite on the album. I think the intro was took a little bit too long to get into it. That's my only complaint about the track, but other than that, pretty freaking amazing. Best chorus on the album, probably. Just a great earworm of a hook there. Yeah, lyrically pretty cool, talking about pressure to make a hit, but them feeling like maybe they're not up to it, or maybe they just don't want to, because maybe it'll sacrifice their artistic vision. Let's keep it going. My camera's gonna die soon, so I'm probably gonna have to switch to the OBS webcam. There's like a... Oh! Whoa. Hold on. I gotta go back. First off, there's a cool automation of effects on that hi-hat pattern. It's like... that. It's almost like a phaser on it. Is that the right term?
From this position, I totally get how the decision was reached. From this position, I can say serious or cop-out or hard to define. Because I have stayed home and have learned a little more about my neighborhood, which is important. You know, there's one of the places to be.
The way he's just like... Hold on. The way he's like kind of stutters on this line.
Because I have stayed home and have learned a little more about my neighborhood, which is important. You know, there's one of the places to be.
Love the verb on that snare too. It only comes like... doesn't come very often. Love those little guitar accents too. Na-na-na. Na-na-na. I love how this track is just staying at this one level too, but it's not getting repetitive for me. Oh, that's a great line. It's a plagiarized regret. Oh. Come on, do it again. Do it again. Oh. It's so warm. Oh, gosh. That sub drop or whatever. Oh, so good, so good. Those like shots of color and synth and vocals and just warmth, so cool. Lyrically, that kind of reminded me of actually that Viagra Boys album that came out last year, and I loved that Viagra Boys album. I loved the wittiness, just the comedy of the lyrics, and a lot of it was spoken word like this. Love it, freaking love it. I feel like this album can do absolutely no wrong right now. It's just keeps hitting. Oh, I didn't give that a rating. I'm gonna give it the good, not quite a 10, but super good. Somebody's calling me. I don't love that piano, if I'm being honest. Okay, maybe building that piano part out will help it a little bit. Ooh. is about like fans hitting him up, maybe. Maybe that piano's growing on me. I don't know. Just felt a little bit out of place at the beginning. As I said, camera was about to die, so we'll have to finish it on this one. Oh, great. Headphones unplugged. I mean, that's my least favorite so far. I'm just gonna say that. Not that it was terrible or anything. Like, I would still give it the good rating. It's just the piano at the intro kind of threw me off. Felt a little bit repetitive. That is like the first track where it felt repetitive. You know, every track is kind of repetitive, but that's the first one where I really noticed that repetition in a negative way. I didn't love how loud those synths were, those shots of synths. Felt like that was a little bit grating. So I have a couple gripes here and there with that track. It's definitely my least favorite on the album, but it's not the worst thing I've ever heard. Like I said, still I would still say I enjoyed it, just not as much as everything else. Again, love the textures on this one. Very clicky. Very groovy, of course. Oh, that bass line. How? Oh, another chord progression I love. Yes. It's another one giving me that nostalgic feeling. Just brings me back, man. Part is pure bliss. I don't want this to end. I'll just say this is a testament to how good this album is. It's rare that an album that is over an hour long leaves me wanting more, you know? I didn't want that last track to end. I wanted it to just continue because I was enjoying it so much. I was enjoying the world of this album so much. Again, that was another track that felt nostalgic of those U2 days, you know? I'm going to listen to that on my own time after this, but yeah, that was just amazing. Just amazing. If you couldn't tell, I loved pretty much every second of that. That's close to a 10 for me, honestly, off of a first listen. Yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Insane grooves, great textures, hilarious lyrics, very self-deprecating but self-conscious lyrics at the same time. Well, I guess self-deprecating and self-conscious they go hand in hand. So yeah, that was fantastic. Flow of the album was great. It was an hour and 5 minutes long, but it felt like 30 minutes. So it just flew by. It left me wanting more. Very reminiscent of Gorillaz at points. U2, obviously, like I said, some 80s aesthetics in there. Reminded me of that new Viagra Boys album with the spoken word sections at points as well. Loved it. I've been listening to so many good albums this month already. I listened to Illmatic by Nas. I listened to Abbey Road by the freaking Beatles. I listened to Who Will Cut Her Hair When It's Gone. I think that's the title, by the Unicorns. Love that album. And now this. I feel like I've just been spoiling myself listening to banger after banger, you know? And this was another one. This was super great. Leave a like if you want. Subscribe if you want. I'll see you guys in the next video. Go join the Patreon if you want to see this uncut. And bye. See ya.